Welcome to another episode of the Cannabis Coffee Crew, where the coffee is strong, the cannabis is smooth, and the conversations are out of this world.
Boom squad in the house. I lower the boom when I do the cipher dance. When it's just Aggie Pants as I romance the blast. I take puffs on stuff, rough enough to give a buzz to my guns, even though we don't touch the stuff. See this blunt in my front, some say my stink. But yo, the skunk helps me think, helps me think, helps me.
Happy Friday, everyone. Today we have with us myself, Pandar, Itsu, Nuke, and Fold. Itsu, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Just chilling, hanging out, ready to get into some conversations with you guys. Newt, man, how you feeling?
Man, I'm doing all right. I'm chilling, man. Today's uh today's the day we go for an MRI with my daughter to see when we're gonna have surgery to straighten her back out. So we're a little nervous, but other than that, we're doing all right. Um, Kev, Folk, how you doing, man?
Good. I'm glad you're getting into the doctor though. That'll actually help. And I think as nervous or nerve wracking as it can be, it's a great step forward. And once you get past this, y'all will laugh about it in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to talk about some of these topics and smoke a little bit more.
I feel that.
Pandar, what about you?
Uh,
I'm feeling good, feeling good. The vibe is good today.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I froze.
it doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Just keep going.
No, I'm feeling good. It's a Monday where the kids don't have school, which means I don't have to work right now. Woo-hoo.
woo.
And today we're diving into how the power and influence of the elite shape our everyday lives, touching on everything from politics to technology and how these forces impact our freedoms. It's personal freedom. Where? Oop.
It don't matter.
Hold on.
hmm
I'm trying to. It's cut off. I'm sorry. I don't know how to scroll to the right.
Why don't you just open the stream?
All right. Well, to kick
What
off this discussion, what do you all think motivates the U.S. to increase its military presence in this region? Is it just about defense, or could there be other strategic interests at play?
I'm going to be real. I don't know a lot about this topic. U.S. defense in Israel. Does anyone have any insight into this topic?
Um,
I've
the,
got feelings, but
yeah, I wouldn't say insight, but I do have like my opinion about the whole Israel, Hamas, Iran. I feel like it's a holy war. It's a
Yeah.
holy war.
that's all it is.
That's all it is. It's a holy war. So for the U.S. to be out there is kind of pointless.
Dumb.
A waste of money to me.
Yes,
So
it's a waste of taxpayer dollars.
it really is. It's a holy war that's only between those countries. Why are
Yeah,
we?
it's also never going to end.
No, it's
That's it.
never going to.
They're going to stop fighting for like 20, 30 years and then get right back to it.
Yep.
Right.
My big point on this one is neither one of these sides are really doing the right thing. So personally, it's like how can we help either side when neither side is doing right?
Because, well, A, one side is an ally, but B, that ally probably gave us an incentive.
Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
once again money. Here we go.
Money,
No,
money,
that's how the world
money.
works, right? Ever since the Christians invented it, it's done nothing but this to our world.
Absolutely.
I think America has places where they need to put their foot in and say, no, this isn't going down. But this is not this is one of those things where we don't belong. It has nothing to do with us. So why are we
Like,
putting ourselves here?
And my thing is though, like they're fighting over whose God is better when they're both technically worshiping the same God, just different messiahs, if you would. And
Well, yeah, and that gets into a whole nother religion.
that's a whole other thing with that too. But
yeah,
I think, yeah, I agree.
There's one phrase that fits it perfectly, though.
What's that?
That just popped out of my head.
Oh my!
Damn it.
Oh,
Oh, same day, different shit, right? Or
Yeah,
same
Yeah.
shit, different day. I said that
yeah.
completely wrong. But anyway,
You're high, bro. It's all
um,
right.
yeah, that's what.
Either way works. To be honest.
Yeah,
like for real.
but I'm just saying, it's just the story as old as time, dude. Like
Absolutely.
You can.
anyone fighting for religious reasons, it's just the exact same thing, but it's a modern day retelling of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always terrible. It's always awful, and innocent people always get hurt.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, if there was a God, which I'm open to the idea, but I need
Tangible
actual, like,
proof.
tangible proof.
Absolutely.
But if there was, God wouldn't want people killing children.
Not at
Like, that's
all.
just not ever
No.
something that I could be, convinced to believe in.
And most people don't see it, especially Christians, don't see it as God doing it, but God allowing it. And because they want to, not even God allowed it, but like uh damn, where was I going with this?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to just crank the cannabis down just a tiny,
Nope, crank
tiny.
it up a little more.
Oh, maybe.
Get into that
Just a
flow
Re-solidify
state.
yourself.
Yeah, get into that flow state. While while Nuke figures that out, but I'm gonna ask about this. What do you guys think about the China Taiwan type of situation here?
I definitely know nothing about that.
the what?
China Taiwan.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why China dislikes Taiwan so much, or
It's not
vice
that they
versa.
dislike Taiwan. It's more of like so China uh, sees Taiwan as a part of China. They're a part of the Republic of China. They're
Okay.
like
Okay.
they
So
So
this
both
is
it's
another
Putin
Russia
all over
thing?
again.
Is this Russia Ukraine
not
similarities?
necessarily. It's more of like okay, so Taiwan, and here's another thing too about the situation. Taiwan also makes chips, like computer chips.
Yep.
And they make I can't remember the percentage. It was like 70% of regular chips that we like would see in our phones, computers, and then they
Okay.
make 90% or 80% of like the most advanced chips. So there's also a monetary and a technological need to take over Taiwan for China, but really it's like China doesn't like that Taiwan is claiming independence and that other places recognize Taiwan as its own entity separate from China. And China's like, well, technically, if you look back in the history, you're a part of us. And Taiwan's like, well, that's not going to happen.
I mean, welcome to Texas seceding from the United States, right? It's
Right.
the same idea. And I think Taiwan is privy to do that. I don't think China owns shit except certain aspects of like maybe mainland China. But I think that dives into a deeper
I think
issue I
that's
have with humans as a whole and our need
exactly.
to claim that we own shit.
This
Mm.
land is not ours. This land will be here when we are gone.
Yep. Sure shit will.
And so like China's been just like pretty much being just real petty because the U.S. also like protects Taiwan. I would say like they're cool pretty much. So like
Yeah.
China takes all their like military warships and shit and is surrounding Taiwan doing military drills. And it's like a lot of people think like, oh, this is gonna lead to like a
Yeah,
war
they're
happening.
flexing.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, I don't think it'll lead to a war, but it will lead to a small conflict. I don't think between
I don't know why we're letting China amass a naval fleet. I just don't. Don't we see the writing on the wall? What do we think that's for? We think that's just for fun?
no. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing how Russia sent their subs down to Cuba to like refuel and do some military drills. And I said the same thing. I was like, you think that's just for nothing? Like, you think that's just to do it? If they wanted to just do it, they would have did it years ago and would have kept doing it every day. But for them to just do it randomly out of the blue, there's a reason for it, and you need to look out for what that reason is.
Yeah, well, they're trying to intimidate people. But what I don't understand is why we like the United States
Oh, we
has the
just
strongest naval fleet or had or whatever. I don't know.
Hmm.
But the fact that we're allowing someone we know is kind of like our frenemy, aka China, like we
Yeah,
do business with them because
but
of money, but I think they want nothing more than to come claim what they probably believe is theirs in our country. Like
mhm.
we're so indebted to them at this point, they probably feel that they own the United States.
You know what?
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if they did feel like that for real.
but why we would sit here, like one of the things that protected us or protects us is it's just known we have the best military.
Hmm.
And some people don't like that, and some people despise us because of it. But the reality is, I mean, that's the thing that keeps us safe. So I just don't get why we're allowing another country to sit here and in our face mass produce aircraft carriers, etc. Right? Like that is a sign of military aggression already.
And I think it's mainly out of fear.
But we've never attacked them,
That is true.
right? So I don't know. And there's a difference between building defensive things or being prepared and between that and running military drills or what have you, where you're clearly intimidating other countries and flexing your military prowess.
Yep.
That's a sign of military aggression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely, and we need to be on the lookout
Well, if
always.
if you've ever watched how correctional officers are trained, right? Balling your fist up as an inmate, that'll get you your ass kicked.
Yep.
That's
They
a
don't play that.
sign of aggression. And they'll do that to you in a corrections facility, but we're going to let other countries sit here and just amass things trying to, I guess, out militarize us. I don't really know what the objective is,
I
but
would
like
essentially say it is to out military. Fuck it, I can't say the word. Say it.
Out
militarize.
militarized.
Yeah, there we go. But it's also to. It's just like in the China sense. Like we get a lot of our technological goods and other stuff from China. Like we owe China so much money that we're not gonna big chest ourselves or get real involved in what they're doing with their military when they own half of America and half of the damn stocks here. That's what I think is it really comes down to is like we can't say nothing bad about what they're doing when we pay them so much for the stuff we have here. Our cars, our most of our technology. Well, I don't know how much of our technology now, but our gas, like we can't bother these countries as much as we would want to. Because I'm pretty sure I think America would want to do something about China surrounding Taiwan and doing military drills and Russia invading Ukraine and bombing it like they do. But since we do so much business with them, we can't risk that business because then us as American citizens get up in arms when gas prices go up. Like when the Russia Ukraine war first started and they did all those like sanctions and stuff on Russia, gas prices went straight through the roof, and every
Of
citizen
course.
was upset about that shit. I was
I
like, but
mean,
this
it's
shit
still
happens.
yeah, and it's
Well,
still happening. Like all they keep doing is increasing tariffs on China and on Russia, and all that's doing is hurting the people and the bottom line.
yes.
Russia and China don't care.
And
But war does help our economy.
It
Well,
does.
historically it does.
absolutely. But
Um,
we need, like, for me, it's just I feel like we're being too soft. I
yes.
feel like we we used to rule, and not necessarily rule, that's the wrong way, but we used to have like our fist out, like ready to go, like you mess with us or anything,
Team
we're coming
America,
at you. Yeah, Team America,
America.
world police. Yes.
and we're no longer that.
No, now we're a bunch of children who are
Yeah,
Facts,
like, "Oh
yeah.
my goodness, you want to harm our country? We're gonna put a
Tax you.
tariff on a good that
like
ultimately
stand
just
It's
makes the
up.
like
cost
trying to put a grown
go up."
adult in timeout.
Yes,
Yeah,
That's
like
exactly what
yes.
it's doing.
seriously, just stand up.
Like
I,
Putin is a madman and is surrounded by crazy people. He legitimately thinks Ukraine is theirs, and like it
Which
sounds
is
like
so funny.
China is now hanging out with Russia a little too often, and they're like, "Yeah, we want Taiwan back too."
Mhm. Mhm.
And we're just sitting idly by because we don't have any presidents who are willing to go to war.
I
Like,
also think I think Biden's just too old and he doesn't want to go to war while he's
I
president.
don't think Biden knows he's alive.
Yeah, yeah. Let's be
Like,
real. Let's be real.
honestly, I don't think he even knows he's alive right now.
Yeah, that last fall on the bike probably did him out.
Yeah.
Nah, bruh. I don't know.
I watched that video like 10 times of him falling off that bike. That shit was funny.
the one that was the funniest video to me was when he was calling somebody a famous basketball player,
Pope.
and
He
it was
called
like
the
the
Pope
Pope
an
of
African
somebody.
American basketball player.
I
The
saw
Pope.
Like
I
this is
saw him put on a Trump hat the other day.
like this is our
What
president.
the
This is
hell?
our president of the United States. And you
I
want to
know,
expect
and then
him
the
to
other one is a fucking reality TV show.
Oh my God.
Oh my god, TV show
Orange
host.
man.
and like you expect us to like go to
This is
war and
what we
win?
have to choose from?
Yeah,
These are our people.
Yeah, this is what we've boiled ourselves down to.
and I don't know much about Miss Harris,
I was
but
gonna say I do not know much about
Me neither.
I know she was a prosecutor and that all she
yeah,
cared about was putting people away for weed. And so I don't like her
great,
either.
great.
Here's so
I wish we could just get the Crips and Bloods out of office and we
Thank
could
you.
have free thinkers
Take away the 2 point
run for
system.
presidency. You were going to say something, Into. I'm sorry.
nah, it was just like when it comes to Kamala Harris, I just don't think like it seems more it feels more of like a cop out, like a last resort. Like, oh, okay, Biden's like no one wants Biden because he's too old. Let's just throw someone in to have someone to vote for against Trump. They don't care what Kamala actually wants to do in office. They don't care what she talks about. They just want someone other than Trump. And
Yeah.
so
Because
she feels more of like a cop out, a sellout.
yeah, no, 100%. And the biggest thing is because they are just a face. They don't even really run the government. It's
They do
those
have
people
certain
behind it.
powers, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're 100% right. They're more like a figurehead.
Hmm.
But why can't why can't we just have 10 options for president and have them be people who come from different backgrounds who are just American citizens who all meet the necessary qualifications?
Well,
Why does it always have to be someone who was bred to be a liar and a master manipulator that we choose to put in office? The
It would
word
even
politician is not a good word. Sorry.
for oh, go ahead, Izzy.
no, I was just agreeing with Folt, but even if
I've
we
been
go ahead. Go ahead.
I've been trying to tell people for years, like, there's more than just two parties. Like, there's there's a couple different parties. I can't name them all. You have like what the Green Party and the Libertarians and
Yep.
stuff like that.
But how many are debating on TV in front of you?
Well, they used to, but now they're not.
I mean, I think the word party should not be part of a candidate's entry into the
No,
ballot.
No.
And I believe that there should be a platform where Americans can go to, like a Twitch, right? Where people thinking of running for presidency can voice their opinions, what they think should change, etc. And they can build a following, right? And come time to vote, you could see these people essentially year round. And you could do that at a fraction of the cost as to what the Obama campaign cost, what the
Yeah,
current administration's campaigns costs on both sides. It's astronomical, and that stuff comes from us and donations and all this other stuff. Why can't
yeah,
we have a platform that enables normal people or affords them the opportunity to be heard and potentially become a president?
yeah. Absolutely, 100%. If I see where you're going with that,
I do too.
and it all makes sense. It You would be able to be seen more often as well, doing what you do.
Yeah.
My problem is with the whole like election and voting and is you're gonna tell me I had to sit in line at some random building for 2 hours just to write a check mark to then watch the election and be like, oh, the electoral college picked the person I didn't vote for. What's the point of me getting up and going to vote? Is it like what is the my as my grandpa says, he says the electoral college is just a bunch of people who sit down with the candidates and say who has the most money.
Yep.
Right.
And that's how they determine the president. Whoever pays the most becomes president. And he was like, if I wasn't a felon, I still wouldn't vote. I was like, wait, what? But like,
Vote. We vote, but I voted third party.
yeah, I usually always vote
I'm
third party anyway, or I
the
write
Yeah.
my own vote in.
the only time I've ever voted, I voted for the third party.
Let's see, hold on,
Hold on. I want to get into one topic that
go
I'm
ahead.
also passionate about, is completely sidebar and not in our plan today. However, what do y'all think about taxes?
Bro, them bitches
Taxation is
suck,
theft.
bro. Them bitches
How
suck.
the hell does the government get to tax you on money you bust your ass to earn?
I know it. Taxation is theft. It's bullshit.
Why
Well,
did. Sorry.
no, no, no. So for starters, I strongly feel that nobody should pay more or less than anyone else, right?
Right.
Irregardless of where it's coming from, based on how they've, like, who they are, how much money they have, etc., right? If you busted your ass for that promotion, you shouldn't be equivocally making less money than you were before the promotion.
Oh, tax bracket increase.
Man,
Right.
I hate
I
taxes like an old ex.
I think tax brackets are terrible. Why isn't there some very low standardized tax number and then charge people according to what they purchase, or remove income tax altogether and charge on goods? If somebody's buying a good that is necessary, they pay a certain tax. But if they're buying a fucking yacht, that tax should be astronomical. No one needs a fucking yacht. I'm just being honest.
I
Agreed.
agree. Yeah.
So,
I
like, or if it's your 10th multi-million dollar home, why isn't that home's taxes 50%? Something ridiculous. Like, we should be charging for lavishly unnecessary items. We should be taxing those,
Yeah.
and we should be reducing the tax. So at the end of the day, guess what? People with more money that want to buy those things, they still will, and they will pay for it. They will pay accordingly, right? But somebody going to the grocery store to buy fucking mac and cheese for their kids isn't struggling as much because we lessened the burden and we've just said, hey, it's based on what you need and what you're buying,
Mm.
right? Like, I don't know. There's got to be a better tax plan than what currently exists, because brackets are designed to keep people down.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
designed to keep you in that tax bracket. They
Right.
don't want you going. They don't care if you go lower than what your tax bracket is, but they highly care about if you're going above what your tax bracket is. And I find it to be all really a scam. It's all just to like taxes is helping America pay off their debt to other
But
countries,
But we'll never
if
catch up.
but
but
Yeah,
hear
we'll
we'll
me
never
never
out.
catch up.
catch up. It doesn't
If
matter.
if taxes were actually reasonable and people weren't attacked based off of their status, but
Mhm.
rather based off of what they chose to purchase because of how well off they are. More people with more money that were sensible would probably donate more. They would probably be more giving and help communities around them
Yep.
because they're not being punished for being wealthy. Like that shouldn't be a punishment. And trying to better yourself in life also shouldn't be a punishment,
Well,
right? Like that's what we're all here for.
Mhm.
We want to leave something better for our kids than we had.
Yep.
So,
and in that same aspect, though, you were talking about raising taxes on like luxury items,
yeah,
but that's kind of punishing the rich as well.
not
By
necessarily. That punishes people who want to buy a yacht. That doesn't punish Keanu Reeves who wants to go eat a sandwich at the grocery store.
right, but
Like,
why punish somebody that wants to have a big boat?
it's about it's not punishing. If you want the big boat and you can afford the 140 million for the big boat, you can probably afford a bit more. And that boat was unnecessary. What does it do? I just curious what productive thing happens on said yachts.
That I mean, it doesn't have to be productive.
No, but I'm asking, why should everyone else be punished so that the
I'm
government can get
saying
more
neither
money?
should be punished.
I mean, the money's got to come from somewhere. And
No,
if
absolutely,
you
absolutely.
tax luxury items higher than you tax regular, you're not attacking somebody because of the amount of money they have in their bank account. You're saying, "Hey, if this is really what you want, you're going to pay more because it's not really something that's necessary."
It's not a
Like
life or death necessity, is what he's.
Right, and
in a regular
s-
boat, you wouldn't get taxed for because it might have purposes like fishing, etc.
you
But do
can
you
fish
need
off
a
a yacht.
but you can, but do
You
you need
absolutely
a
can.
helicopter pad in order to fish? I don't think so.
That is
And
Depends
true.
on
most
what
of
you're
them
going
also
for.
have private helicopters as well.
Maybe,
First off, a yacht's bigger than
maybe.
the river itself half the damn time.
It's more about like so in the same realm, if you were to bring it down to cars, do I think an XLR should be taxed more than a Honda Civic? Yes. Yes, I do.
See, I don't see it that way either.
If it meant I didn't pay income taxes, that's worthy. That's a worthwhile consideration to me. To just say,
That,
do you really need a car with this much power that really doesn't do anything but seat two people and it's quite uncomfortable in the long run versus a car that someone who makes $42,000 a year needs to like escort their kids around
but
to take them to places.
here's the thing: you can't tax somebody's want. That's still punishing them, even if they make that money to buy that car. Putting that taxes on them just because they want it and it not having a productive use. It can still have a productive use. It gets you from point A to point B. What if you don't have a family? What if you don't want a family and you just
There's
need a car, but you're wanting that car? You don't want the other one. That shouldn't be taxed more just because you want it.
So, where would the government get their tax monies from?
right. I mean, if you just reduce taxes all the way
I
around
was
the
gonna say
board,
just
there are
reduce tax.
implications.
No, absolutely. But what I'm getting at is that you shouldn't necessarily do that just because they're making more money and can afford those items.
Oh, it's not that they're making more money. You could have inherited it, right? Like things get
Yeah,
inherited.
yeah.
But if we could trade off perpetual taxes and taxing based off of class and actually taxed based off of necessity, we could come to a point where the taxes are so reasonable for the lower classes, low income and middle class Americans, even into high income. They would see so much tax relief. in exchange for, do you really need this mansion? Okay, you're going to pay 20 million extra.
I mean, to be
Whoop de doo.
honest, the exchange in income tax, like if they are people who are making their money, if they're not paying that income tax, then it does just get put into the extravagant
Correct.
tax.
Right. It may actually work out better, right? Because then you can save your money for that yacht and you'll be able to afford the excess
And
because
it
your
should all be
income
flat
isn't
rate.
immediately being stripped from you by the government.
I can see where both of you guys are coming from.
I mean, I'm just saying, by not having an income tax, you afford people more opportunities to invest, to do smart things with their money, right?
Yeah.
If you put a high enough tax on it, people aren't going to buy it. Like they're going to keep their money. And I did hear somebody say something about more willing to donate earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
I
me.
wouldn't be. If you're
really.
making me, if I couldn't spend my money on what I wanted to, I would be less likely to donate because why would I?
To be a good person.
I mean, that's already what happens today because of how we attack people just for the money in their account,
Hmm.
right? And what I'm saying is, this sounds like a better alternative. I don't think there's a perfect alternative because
No, I
the
don't either.
military has to be funded. The other entities, the whole judicial system essentially has to be funded. Like there are other things that this money goes to. And if we just said fuck taxes, well, all those things crumble, right? So I don't think there is a perfect solution.
No, no, 100%. There is no perfect solution.
All right.
Someone is going to get messed up somewhere.
I have
Right. But if you are a multimillionaire and you do want a yacht, if you take a vast portion of your funds and you were to invest, or not even a vast portion, even a minute fortune, like a little bit of your funds, and invest correctly, you can easily turn that into a much larger sum of money. There's an old adage, it takes money to make money. And
Hmm.
I think that is the hardest barrier for every American, is getting past that hump.
Yeah.
If you have money, then going after the things you want, the things that you can invest in, means that you can make additional money. So I don't necessarily think, like,
I
I
don't.
think a lot of like people high up, and I'd be interested to hear their opinions on something like I proposed, but I think they might take that trade because you have more opportunity if your money's not stripped from you literally the instant it's headed to your bank account.
like income tax gets taken out of our accounts, it's put into the government's account and they get all that interest and it's a lot of interest earned. We could be earning the interest on our own money and making the interest we earn on it could be what's needed to pay any extra taxes on something special we want.
That's kind of where I was saying. Like, I'd be curious to hear a perspective of a billionaire, of a millionaire, etc. Because I kind of feel like they might say, "Yeah, that's a great idea," or maybe they have very good reasons why they would say, "That sounds awful. I would hate that." But I'd be curious to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. When it comes to taxes, it's one of those things where you have to get multiple people, or not multiple people, but just multiple tax brackets and see how hard it is for them in that certain tax bracket. Not like, not saying that extra rich all it has a hard time doing anything. I mean, they could. I don't know. I'm not rich, but it's one of those things where it's going to take all tax brackets and people from those tax brackets to really come together and meet, come at a middle ground. Because, like Nuke said, someone's going to get the short end of the stick either way. But I think the most important thing when it comes to taxes and money in general is being able to keep that money. If we can keep it and then be able to save it and let it build, then I'll be able to, you'll be able to go do what you really want to do with that money.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where like
Well, I think that is a great time to be like, anyone listening, feel free to reach out via X, or what was the other one we stood up
Instagram.
today? Instagram.
on the
Instagram.
ground.
Yeah, share your
Um,
thoughts. Let us know what you think about this.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
'Cause
What are the tags? It's like at Cannabis Coffee Crew.
So for X, it is at the Can Cough Crew.
Okay.
I like that. I like that.
It's a little awkward because I can only use so many characters.
Right.
Okay.
And then Instagram is at Cannabis Coffee Crew.
Nice.
All right. The links are in our Discord promo channel. And if any of us want them, I did see Nuke posted them there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No, but that would be, I think that's a really controversial topic. And I would love different perspectives. But I don't think there's a perfect solution, but I do think there's a better solution.
Yeah.
There'll never be a perfect solution, and honestly, you could even argue there may not be a better solution either, but a different solution is always around. There's always a different solution to certain things.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
it's just when it comes to taxes, I don't think there's a solution that's gonna benefit everybody in the long run. At least
Now,
in my perspective, I don't
if
think.
the world was perfect and we all lived in harmony, everybody would help everybody and we wouldn't have to worry about this.
Facts.
Yeah.
True.
But we
Unfortunately.
don't.
Yeah.
And
Humans aren't bumblebees.
this country started on taxation is theft.
I was about to say, when we
Yeah.
throw in the tea in the harbor.
I mean, that
Yeah,
would be
do all
fun.
I
that.
mean, let's go throw some tea in the harbor. I'm
I,
down.
look, when we went on our vacation this summer, we drove up and down the East Coast pretty much.
Oh, right.
And when we were in Boston at his sister's Harvard graduation, we went to Boston Harbor, and I was joking that I was going to throw some twisted tea into the harbor.
You freaking should have, man.
Yeah. We never got around to it. As soon as we got there, my mom was in the hospital. So,
Oh no.
Oh.
yeah, she had like a tooth issue and had like an abscess or something. So we had to go get it taken care of.
Yeah, I've had those before. Those aren't fun.
I just didn't want to ruin the whole trip. So I wanted to get it addressed before because it was literally when we got to Massachusetts.
Mm,
We went to the Massachusetts, I don't remember, the general hospital.
yeah.
Because we got there at like midnight and then we were there until like 6 or 7 in the morning. So it was a rough start to the trip, but because we got it addressed quickly, we were able to enjoy the rest of the trip. She started feeling better and things were a lot better.
Yeah, them abscesses.
Yeah, they're no fun. Any tooth problem really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, I only had just a wisdom teeth problem, and I didn't have any other issues.
Nice. So now that we've kind of moved past the taxes thing, I think
Hey.
TJ is redabbing it up.
Yes, sir.
Nope, not yet, but I was about to.
As we move on to the next hit,
Go
how
for
does
it.
everyone feel about the significance of the successful catch from SpaceX's last Starship booster? You think it's a pivotal moment for space travel or another step in a long journey?
I would tell you now. I personally could give two flying fucks about them catching
Oh,
some whatever.
man.
I seen the video, but like I just
So,
ah.
so I will say, as much as I really don't care that much, mostly because I think there's a lot more on this earth that we need to figure out and we need to learn to harmonize better with it if we truly want to make our species last longer or yeah. Anywho, but if you care about space travel, if you care about the future of people going to Mars, etc.,
Right.
learning to make things reusable so that they are less resource intensive and cost less money in the long run. And it's not really about money, it's more about the resources, in my opinion.
Hmm.
It's a great step. We still have a long way to go, but great step.
Yeah, I will say it's one of those things where it's gonna definitely make things easier for space travel, space exploration coming down the line, but
I
they do
think
have a
it's
lot more to
freaking
do.
awesome. I if you like Elon Musk, if you don't like Elon Musk, he his SpaceX, whatever. I'm not giving him all the credit,
Hmm.
but like the whole thing is super cool. Like I like that we're able to reuse and catch the rockets that came off of something that put something in space.
So kind
I
of
think it's
along,
neat.
yeah. I think the most important thing he's done was to bring software engineering to other fields.
Yeah,
I think that's why they've had the success they've had at SpaceX. I think it's why Tesla had the success that it has had. And I think that we should continue. I honestly really wish somebody would look into bringing software engineering to quote unquote affordable housing because
I
those
do. I
words
wish.
don't actually exist. There is no affordable housing. If you type affordable housing into Google, you get mini homes that cost $180,000 or $80,000 for like 400 square feet.
Just
That's
wait for the
not
housing market
affordable.
to crash, and then things get affordable.
But I truly believe that if software engineers were brought into housing, we could figure out how to optimize and
Oh yeah.
make production of houses so efficient that it drastically reduced the cost, even if they're not the dream home somebody wants. But if they give you a roof over your head, individual rooms for your children, etc.,
Hmm.
like we just need basics for a lot of people in this country and all over the world. If we could truly make affordable housing, it would revolutionize the world.
Speaking of housing, have you did you guys hear about BlackRock buying up all the single family homes? Or someone
No,
was, yeah, someone was. It was either BlackRock or some other like super big company, but they're buying up all the single family homes, and they're also buying up a bunch of like Bitcoin and crypto. Um,
great.
I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up. I can't remember.
Is that the private military?
No, BlackRock. They're
What
like
is BlackRock?
some BlackRock. There's some like crazy. It's an investment company. I believe. Let me see.
Okay,
Yeah, they're an investment company. And they practically own all the media stations. Not all of them, but you know what I'm saying. Like
So
they
they're the Illuminati.
pretty bad. Right. Right.
oh, here we
I didn't want
go.
to. Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but
Yeah, that's what you're saying, bro.
that's what I'm saying.
Not supposed to say that on air.
That's what. Yeah. See,
Hey, come see me. I
you
wanna
gotta
see what y'all about. I wanna interview you.
you gotta change the name to Illuminati.
Let's get friend tats.
Yeah. But yeah, they're buying up like all the single family homes, and they're buying up a lot of crypto and Bitcoin.
That,
And it's and someone was saying that they're gonna take the houses that they bought and tokenize them or itemize them on the blockchain to then sell those houses and make billions and billions of dollars off just having these houses on the blockchain for sale on crypto
yep.
and stuff like that.
Listen, it's another example. Got to get, if you have money, there are easy ways to make money. And like, this is just one of those examples. But I also think it's a little suspect because a lot of those things are like shadow corporations.
Mhm. Mhm. I'm not like I don't know much about crypto Bitcoin, so I wouldn't even know how much of that would work. Um but like a lot of people nowadays are starting to trade and delve deeper into Bitcoin, whatever they call them now. Like it was like the dog coin,
The
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin, yeah.
Yeah. NFTs was a thing for a little bit. I remember some one of my mom's friends was trying to get me into NFTs, and I was like, I just don't see the long term, like I don't see the longevity of it.
No, we have a story about Bitcoin. I don't know if you already told it while I was gone.
No.
But Kevin, before it was a big thing, was mining it. He had set up a little computer, and I over here, being the cheapie that I am, I'm like, rah, it's running power, rah, the power bill. We need to turn this thing off. And
Mhm.
so he finally was like, all right, shut it down and gave it to a friend to it ended up getting destroyed. Long story short, I think he had about the amount of a Bitcoin. And
Hey,
then and then we find out that a Bitcoin was worth 30 something thousand dollars and he just
Oh,
stares at
it's more
me.
than that. It's like double that.
No,
But
when it first happened.
yeah, no, I had a chance to make a little bit of money off of Bitcoin and
And I screwed it up.
mature responsibilities and making good responsible decisions about electricity usage ultimately destroyed my dreams. Yeah.
say it like that. Having to be an adult and a good
Uh,
person to my family.
And so instead, I became a software engineer and beat my head against the desk for however many tens of 20s of years. I don't know how long it's been, but until I just was done with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're gonna mine like Bitcoin, you gotta, yeah, you gotta be able to pay for it in the long run. Because I can imagine you guys' electric bills like almost in the thousands just running the
Oh,
computer.
no, no, it wasn't even that bad, but
No.
we had 2 kids, we were just bought a house, like,
Yeah,
po we weren't really like, in poverty, but we also were just, like, just making it by.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I wouldn't start mining Bitcoin where I'm at now. Like I don't make enough money to pay for all the bills and then also keep up. Like I couldn't do it. That's why I
Well,
just never done it.
yeah, I mean, now it probably takes significantly longer to get a Bitcoin
Because
anyway.
so many people are doing it.
Yeah. I mean, there's massive server farms and stuff set up to do
Yeah,
it.
I think people buy like a rent out a warehouse and just suit it up with a bunch of PCs mining Bitcoin all day and just rack it up, invest it in other things, and just watch it rack up. Like I just, oof. It's such a different world, dude. Like I tried to get into it and I tried to look, but like I got to set up a wallet, got to pay this much to be able to use the wallet. Like it was just too much for me. So I just kept it. I just moved on from Bitcoin and crypto. But I do want to eventually get back into it and try to invest and make some money from it.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think if I came into a sum of money, I would probably invest it into property or
Yeah.
homes.
Yeah. I
Um,
invested in real estate real quick.
yeah, I think real estate is probably the safest bet, and there are many returns on investment, right? If you
Oh
can't sell the house, you can rent it. If you can't rent it, you could potentially look into Airbnb-ing it, although I know there's a lot of stuff going on in that space as well. But like once you're at like, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 properties, at some point, it doesn't even matter if there's squatters in some of them, you
yeah.
know?
You're gonna be making money.
Well, thankfully, there's like some of these states are coming out with some squatter laws to like actually help protect homeowners.
Yeah.
Yeah, squatters used to get away with a bunch of stuff.
I mean, they still are in a lot of states, but
Hmm.
But I'm just saying, imagine you have 40 homes and you make 1,500 bucks a month off of them, right? I mean, that's what is that?
passive.
That's $60,000 per month in reoccurring income. So getting another house after that, you could buy one a year and still have plenty of money to pay for repairs, etc. Like, and that's not even astronomical rent prices that you see today. Like they're insane today.
Hmm.
Like a 3 bedroom, two bath or 1.5 bath house is like 17, 1800 for a townhouse to
Yeah.
rent it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially like and it also depends on where you're like trying to live at too. Like in my town, it's a college town, so
Right.
everything is expensive. All the housing is expensive because there's so many people trying to get somewhere to stay. So like, if you want to pay cheaper, Like rent, you have to move. You have to live farther outside the city.
Right.
But if you don't, if you have the money to pay, to spend, then you can afford to look closer into the heart of the city or a little bit closer into the city where everything is. Like my grandparents, they had got their house built in a subdivision for like $250,000. Now the house is worth like almost 400, 500,000.
Yeah.
Right.
And they only been in it for 3 years, but they pay like I think 1,700 in mortgage or whatever, something like that. I can't remember. I would have to ask. But they chose to live further out of the city because it was cheaper to get a house built out there than it would have been somewhere closer into the city.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, normally that's the smart move, right? If you I know there's some cultures or countries that are going through like different crises regarding like population. But
Hmm.
I think by and large, cities within our country are slowly but surely expanding outward, right?
Yeah.
So if you buy a house just outside the city in a little suburb or what have you, and you live there comfortably, eventually that city's going to grow, right? And it's going to eventually make its way out to you,
Hmm.
at which point your home's going to be worth a hell of a lot more money.
True.
And you can choose to stay, or you could take the proceeds and then go invest in something else and live further outside the city if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a great financial move.
Yeah, so everybody, that's where we're going to call it for today. Remember to go follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. See you every Friday. Just remember, it's more than coffee and cannabis, it's a mindset. Whether you see us or hear us, you're part of the crew.